welcome to the 11th week of the Kentucky Garden Experiment. So that's the dripping sound you heard at the beginning of the video. I didn't think it was going to be so loud, but I just keep gathering water. This is just dew, barrel's empty, but I filled up as many bottles as I could. My project next for this is to get this lifted up because my valve is really down low. So if I get this thing put up 2 to 3 feet, and that's what I got with that wood that I got collected sitting in the back. I'm gonna build little water towers to put these barrels up on so I can get some good water pressure coming out of them barrels. And I got 2 more rain barrels to get hooked up. So I'm gonna do a video on that. We're gonna get right into it here, and good morning. Week 11 update. The corn is gone. It just got too much weeds. The corn wasn't growing, the corn was yellowing. So my recommendation on just throwing some corn in the grass and seeing if it grows, yeah, it'll grow, just not well. So what I ended up doing was just mowing down all the tall weeds, and we'll see. Maybe some corn will come up, recover, I don't know. But for right now, the corn, just throw the corn in the ground and see what grows, was a failure. No good. Wonder what that is. So we had some rain last night, and because the barrel is down low, I had to go downhill, and this is where I filled up as many empty jugs as I got to save the rain while the barrel was full. So I emptied it out, filled up them bottles for later. What I might do is just put them back here. When something looks like it needs some water, I'll put something on it. So corn gone, failure. Here, sunflowers are starting to pop up. Problem is the tall grass. I just gonna have to somehow get in there and cut that grass down. So do I recommend just throwing sunflower seeds into the grass and see what happens? They're growing, but I think they can do a lot better if you don't just throw the seeds in the grass and see what happens. So do I recommend it? No, but it is part of the experiment to see what happens. And I say this every week, the compost bin, it needs help. But I just haven't gone out into the tick zone to get leaves and mulch from the woods. What happened here? Well, just throwing some things into a wild area and hoping they grow. They grew, but we are now having rabbit problems. The rabbits are coming in and eating up my pepper plants. They're not really messing with the tomatoes, but they're messing with the peppers. So yeah, I had to put up a fence, and after I put up the fence, the rabbits seem to have been scared off by the fence. I'm sure they'll come back, but after I put up the fence, the rabbits are gone. That dumb dog doesn't scare anything. It's supposed to scare. I think all the animals like the dog. That's what it does. a dog on a spring and a stick. Just blows around in the wind, but doesn't scare anything. I've also helped this out a little bit. The smaller plants, I pulled some of the grass up around it to help, but this first row right here is just not doing so well. This one, look at that, how fast. This clover just came up out of nowhere. So these small tomatoes that just aren't doing so well, pulled up them weeds. This tomato plant, I accidentally pulled up with weeds, so that got replanted. Look how fast this grows. This grass is insane. Here's the next pepper row. You could barely see anything coming up. So I did some weeding here just to give them another chance where I could still see pepper plants growing. I'm losing them to rabbits, but hopefully not anymore. And then these tiny little pepper plants, they should be huge right now, but they're just not going. This is the one thing I haven't really put my mind around yet, but these tomato plants I took out of that first row and transplanted them into this row are all doing very well. That one's still a little kind of odd variety of tomato. But all of these that I transplanted into this row are all doing pretty well now. The peppers transplanted into this row. If you want to know more about the rows, I got previous videos that are going to explain it. I'm just going to try to keep this one real short and quick. But here you can see after I transplanted these peppers into this new row, the peppers are starting to look very healthy. Nice green leaves, no yellowing. That one's starting to pick up. But in this fourth row, and you can see how fast this grass wants to take over. It's all coming in quick. It's gonna start coming up there. And then all over here, the grass is all starting to come in. So if you want to know more about these rows, I have 4 different rows and why they look the way they do. Row 1, row 2, row 3, and row 4. Go ahead and check out my other videos to see what I got going on here. But, yep, I got this little rabbit fence that's up here now, because they are eating. Rabbits love pepper plants. And I've got some varieties that are completely gone now. They're just chewed off and just stems. Don't think they're coming back. this is the other expired wild, or not wild, but pet bird food. I put a bunch of sunflower seeds and other assortment of seeds in the ground, raked it all into the dirt. Not one thing came up from that whole batch. So that's the update on the zucchini, the pumpkins, and the squash, the wild growing patch. And we'll just let it keep on going and see what it does. Not doing well, but that's part of the experiment. If I can get a plant that grows well in this harsh type of environment that I don't know what I'm in for, growing in Kentucky, I could grow this stuff all day in Chicago, but Kentucky, it's a whole different kind of dirt. Hey dear. See, this is what I'm up against. I'm gonna throw in here the tick problem. We have severe ticks down here in Kentucky, and I started using a product called Wondercide. You've seen it in my other videos. But in this past week, there has only been one tick crawling on me, one tick crawling on my daughter, and nobody else got ticks. We would get covered in hundreds of ticks that would bite, and we'd have to pick ticks off us every night, pull them out. And with all this scary meat allergy syndromes, Lyme diseases, these mysterious illnesses that people are getting from ticks, I'm not affiliated or sponsored by Wondercide at all, but if you watch one of my other videos, I do talk about it if you're interested. Yeah, but I just spray this on my lawn. It's a cedar wood oil, and the tick problem has gone away. Also, I could probably contribute to the lessening of tick problems. I'm keeping my grass cut very short. I mow it often and keep it short. So the ticks have drastically been reduced. If you're interested in Wondercide, you might want to give it a try. Just letting you know, ticks are going away. I hope, or they are. We'll see. I'll keep you updated on the next week's reviews. So that's it. Week 11 update. Tried to make it as quick as possible. Just a quick recap. rain barrel. I got to get them up on stands still. The tomatoes and peppers are getting rabbit invasion. Really, the peppers are invading, or the rabbits are invading the pepper plant. So I'm losing my pepper plants to rabbits. So I had to put up a fence. And the corn, I got rid of the corn. It's just the weeds are getting too high, and the corn just isn't growing like it should. If you look at everything else out here, throwing seeds in the ground with corn, not a good idea. So we'll have to do that the traditional way, and we'll retry it again at some other time. The zucchinis, these pumpkins, and the squashes, they are randomly coming up. So I don't know if I'm losing the plants to the soil, with it being dry back here and not really watering it, or we got deer that are constantly coming back and forth through here. We'll see if the ones that are coming up, if they will do well, but could be deer eating it, water problems, the heat. We haven't had much rain out here. So we got that rain, and we've got a couple, I don't know if you noticed them or not, but I didn't point out when I was going through it, but we had some flowers on some of the small squash plants. And that pumpkin, it's got an open flower on it. Hopefully that don't get eaten by them deer. We'll see. So thanks again for watching on the experimental Kentucky garden. Just put seeds in the ground and see what they do. And I cheated a little. I gave a little help, some watering when they really need it. We had some good rainstorms last night, and it looks like we got a couple more coming up. So hopefully the wild squash, I don't know, I have trouble saying that. Squash patch. The wild squash patch is starting to pick up. So we'll do an update next week, and thanks for watching. Bye. All right, let's get out of here.